Yeah, what's up, Dirt Life fam? Stoked to be with you guys today on this fabulous Tuesday in Lake Elsinore, California. We have a Texas Outlaw Series recap show today for round number 5. We're going to have a lot of fun today. So hopefully you guys join us, hang out for a little bit. Blake Gustin, what's up? Everybody's joining in, so thank you guys very much. It's going to be pretty cool, man. Tell all your homies, tell all your friends, come hang out, watch. Dude, side-by-side racing's going off these days. What's up, Ben, Toby? All the way from Australia, man. Good to see you guys. So Brian Atkinson's going to join us, our fearless leader, the race director, and owner of the Texas Outlaw Series. We were in Oak Hill, at Oak Hill Raceway, just outside of Decatur, Texas. Hi, Brittany. Yeah, it was awesome. And, man, the dirt was like chocolate cake, the new track. So sick. What's up, Blake? Yeah, round 5 was sick. Great job, everybody. Let me get Brian on here real quick and talking about it. Travis Coyne, what's up, dude? So we'll get Brian on here. Brett, what's up? Brandon. Brian Atkinson, what's up, dude? How are you?
Georgie, what's up, buddy?
Hey, so I haven't seen you for a couple days, but hey, it was only 85 this morning when I woke up, but now it's already like 100 in Lake Elsinore. So back to Texas weather.
Yeah, 103 here right now.
Let me give a little bit of a backstory. So the Texas Outlaw Series was operating at Texplex Off-Road Park for the last number of years, and Brian got the opportunity to go change it to a new track at Oak Hill Raceway, just outside of Decatur, Texas. I think it's called Alvord, Texas. And, man, a shitload of work you put into it, but, dude, hard work pays off for all the racers.
Yeah, man, it was a task to get this to everything to come together in time for this July 10th race. There's still actually a couple things we need to do out there to make it really good, but I think overall consensus, everybody really. I'm just looking forward to the whole rest of the season out there and next year. I think it's gonna be awesome.
Dude, I think so too. Hey, Blake, yeah, we got some new hats and apparel and stuff coming, so I'm going to give Brian some. I'll give you some. I'll bring some out to Texas. We'll share with everybody. Yeah, so give me a little bit of a backstory on how you got this track going, because, like, it didn't even exist, 3 months ago?
No, they actually had for those who were watching, the whole finish line area and further back towards the big pond, that was all like a vet moto track, that they kind of had there for people just to ride on. The starting line was nothing but a field, and the whole back section, they had once cut like some small trails and stuff back there, but it had all been overgrown and all that. So basically we just went out there and did a lot of talking, a lot of back and forth with Kevin, the owner out there at Oak Hill. And ultimately, once Texplex sold and kind of let me know what their fate was, we went and made a deal with them. And then the next step was, okay, we're going to find to build it. This is going to be super expensive. Gas prices are retarded right now. Everything's just astronomical. And that's when I went to Jake Lindemood, and I was like, hey, man, we got to make something happen fast. You're the only guy I know that can do it. And, man, they hooked it up better than anybody probably ever would. They immediately sent out machines. We had to deal with a lot of holidays and bad weather and wind, stuff like that. A couple machine breakdowns while we're out there, but overall it got done. The track build itself got done really fast, and then it just came down to getting everything from Texplex to Oak Hill, getting everything set up, getting the internet going, getting the registration booth going, getting everybody trained and all that.
Yep.
It was just a big task overall getting it all done, but man, I'm super stoked how this last weekend turned out for sure.
Yeah, so one of the things that I was thinking about earlier is it takes Army to have this stuff happen. Like, you can't just have it happen overnight. So I really commend you for getting it all done, especially for the racers, because there was so many positive comments and everybody loved the track. I mean, let's see here. Levi DeCarroll asked Brian what the neighbors think of the new track. I think everybody thinks the new track is bitching.
Yeah, I mean, it's no secret that we have one neighbor that was complaining about dust, and I don't think he's got a single thing to worry about now. Once we just first round out there and we tackled that dust like nobody's business.
Yeah, exactly. You guys did a good job. Lisa Wheeler, hi, how are you? Let's see here. Jay Coolda, Plymouth County is here. What's up, dude? How are you? Um, yeah, so when we got out there, I just got out there and I was trying to check out. Actually, let me give a shout out to everybody that's going to join us tonight. So we have some fantastic racers that are going to join us. David Navratsky, Big Dave, dude, he was a fan favorite all weekend.
Yeah, he's coming all the way up from Philly.
Dude, uh, Cross Kirchmeyer. We're going to talk a little bit more about him, but holy crap, that kid can drive.
Tell me about it. I know.
Let's see here. Hunter Miller, who's that guy?
I've never heard of him.
Ben Fournier,
Yeah.
going to hang out with us tonight, too. Maybe he'll even talk a little bit about hunting. Chase Mankin, he's actually going to be racing this week as well. So they're out there having some more fun. He's going to talk to us about his first time racing in the middle of the country in Texas. So, and Jocelyn Ware, somebody that I really want to talk to because she was so well spoken on the podium and she drove her butt off in her RS1. She did a really good job.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it'll be cool to talk with all of them to see what they. Lisa Page Wheeler said, "Yeah, Hunter who?"
Least fresh on Hunter. I remember that from a few years ago.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So what was your favorite part about the whole weekend, dude? Because I mean, you were working so hard.
Yeah. I guess overall, just how everybody just loves it out there, and that was my main concern. I think, to be honest with you, was that I out there. I pretty much designed the track myself. I was out there telling the dozer operators what they need to do, things like that. We had a couple racers come out and give some input, but I was really worried that everybody's going to come out here, they're all hyped up for Oak Hill, and the track sucks. But that wasn't the case, and so once everybody told me that they really loved the track, I was just super stoked and happy, and everything else just went off like clockwork, just how it did at Texplex. You know what I mean? It went off really well.
Yeah, good people, good crew that you have working with you. Honestly, man, my favorite part of the track was seeing all of the people so hyped afterwards. Because like when you go to a new track, you're like, oh shit, like what is my setup going to be? What tires am I going to use? Like the racer themselves and the crew and the families and stuff, like it's an unknown, right? You walk into an unknown, you don't know what you're going to do. Like, so everything is a stress mechanism, right? So you get out there on track and you're like, oh, it was muddy or it was dry. And then you're like going back to the truck and you're like, why can't it be perfect? But everybody that we talked to by the end of the weekend was like, you know what? Those little things made us better as a team, and the whole organization and operation was awesome.
And I think it was a good call on our part to not hold an open practice on the track before the race weekend, just to kind of keep it an even playing field, for everybody to come from the West Coast, Louisiana, I know, Philadelphia, all these places that they come from the country, they can't come just for a practice day, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So nobody knew what to expect when it came to tire choice and how the track was going to shape up. I kind of had an idea of what was going to happen, but I wasn't sure. So
Yeah, but it was still cool to see everything develop. I mean, dude, even the track, like the way it developed. I mean, there was so much good dirt. Like there was a rad cushion, like in normal short course racing, where you could come up. There was multiple lines where you could enter at the beginning of the corner and then come down and exit at the inside. Like all kinds of different stuff. And dude, it even got rough. It was badass.
yeah, I heard you. I was watching your broadcast most of the day today, just kind of see what was going on that I didn't get to see, and y'all were talking about how rough it got, and it got rough out there towards the end of the day. But Darren Green commenting, water truck driver of the year for us, jumping in.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, we did the track prep overnight, and actually shout out to Kevin out there at Oak Hill. He kind of gave us some advice of how he knew what the dirt was going to do and things like that, and yeah, we knocked out that track prep at night, and everything was great for the next morning.
Yeah, dude, it really turned out to be good. Yeah, I'm sure everybody has their suggestions for you and gave you constructive criticism on what you could do better for the next round. Actually, what's the next race that you have planned? I think you're coming out to the West Coast, aren't you?
Next stop, Cedar City, Utah, man. Yeah, I just got off the phone with the owner out there, and he's excited. We're excited. It's a new venture for us. I mean, for the most part, I pretty much know what I'm doing out there, but yeah, it's going to be exciting, man. I can't wait. Lisa,
Dude.
dealer is going to be heading up our registration out there, and I'm bringing a lot of the crew from Texas. Blake Gustin's coming out, and he's going to help work the track and help with tech, things like that. You and the whole production crew are coming out.
Dude, that's going to be so much fun, man. And I'm actually sitting at IMG Motorsports today, and you can probably see they're working on a bunch of cars, trucks, new cars. It's going to be awesome to see that a lot of the California guys want to go up there and hang out too.
Yep.
All right, so we got the man, the myth, the legend, got his first victory. He got a victory this weekend in the Texas Outlaw Series at round 5. David Navratsky, what's up, homie?
Hey, how's it going? Good to be here.
Yeah, so you know the guy right to your side, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. What's up, Dave? What's going on, buddy?
Fine.
Are you back home?
I'm back home. It's a lot cooler here.
I bet it is.
So you drove all the way back to Pennsylvania?
We fly in for the weekend.
Oh,
Yeah,
right on.
Thursday night, and we go back home Sunday night.
Look at this guy, dude, all bougie. He comes home with a victory. He just gets to fly back and forth.
Back to work on Monday morning.
That's cool, though, man. The working men having fun out there at the races. Hey, so you did a fantastic job this weekend. But before we talk about your race, give us a little bit of a lowdown, because we were just talking about the track and how rad it was.
Yeah, it's definitely, I mean, us being new out there, the whole short course style driving in general is new to us. But, I mean, being out there for the first time, the track was awesome. Definitely a lot faster.
Where do you usually drive or race?
Race the series up in the New England area, but we were on motocross tracks with quads. And
Nice.
It's in on a motocross style track, so this is definitely a whole different setup coming out here than it is back home.
What, did you like it?
Texas series is way better.
There you go, Brian. That's the best compliment of the day, huh?
Yeah. It's definitely worth the flight and the rental stuff. It's definitely a lot better down in Texas.
So we've seen you out there at the races before, obviously at Texplex and stuff. What the heck happened in the last couple of months that just made you just pin it, dude?
Yeah, I mean, the last round that we had, the car, we were still racing on stock suspension. The car wasn't set up. And then I got to give it out to the guys at G3, Blake and Ty. They got the car, do the full race prep between them and my buddy Kyle that goes out there with me. They completely fine-tuned, went over the whole car and set it up, and they gave me a whole new machine to go out there this round, and definitely a lot better going this go around.
Dude, Brian, did you see how well he gelled with that thing, dude? He was pointing and shooting that thing everywhere.
Yeah, he did so good. I was actually pretty pumped to see him coming out there with the win after the last round. Was it the last round? I think he was up on his.
I got in a little accident. We ended up ending today on the roof of the car, so definitely a lot better weekend.
That's what happens when you get too comfortable, man.
Yeah, it's a lot better racing with these Texas boys, though. That's for sure.
So we had Fast GT 13 said, "Love the Plymouth County sweatshirt." Is that your sweatshirt that you're wearing there?
Yep. Like I said, I got shout out to the Plymouth County guys back home. Everyone needs something. They're right there to help out with the program. So even though they're so far away, they're still right there with us, even though we're in Texas.
So I already asked Brian this question already. What was your favorite? I mean, coming home with a victory, I guess, is your favorite part of the weekend. But what was your second favorite part of the whole weekend?
Just hanging out with everybody. I mean, we're still new to everybody out there. Don't really know that many faces, but getting to know new people, hanging out with some of the people we meet previous rounds and all that. It's good it's like a family atmosphere. So
yeah, so talking about a family atmosphere, Brian, I think he was the fan favorite online during the live feed, man. He just had people just chiming in, rooting him on the whole time.
Yeah, I think it seemed that way. You know, we get those people that come from far away, and it's awesome to have the production that we have, so that you really don't miss a thing. As a matter of fact, you probably see more than we do out on the track.
Oh yeah, it was definitely nice that even though we were so far away, everybody back home still felt like they're there, right there with us. I mean, my girlfriend.
What were people saying about the track? Because like there was a couple things that I want to comment on. Like the jumps and everything are cool, right? Like those 180 sections were really good for passing. But honestly, my favorite portion of the track was after you come off of that big tabletop, you hang that right-hander, you got that big bank that you can come on. But most people were just kind of taking the inside. People started taking that like high line at the beginning and then getting a huge run, like slingshot off down that straightaway. And then that next 180 left-hander, that was my favorite corner of the whole track because it almost reminded me like of a Crandon style, like back it in there with your car and then get as much speed out of that turn. It was so sick to watch you guys.
That was
Yeah,
kind of
it's definitely a fast track out there.
yeah.
What were you saying, Brian?
That was kind of the idea. Like, so when we first started building the track, I went into the dozer operator and I was like, look, I don't know what we're going to do to the track right now, but this is one thing that I want. I think I want to put it right here. I want that big tabletop. I want a big right-hand sweeper crossing the little creek right there, and I want to head back into a 180. And that was like the one section that I knew that I wanted out on the track. Everything else, we just kind of winged it, and it worked out pretty good.
Dude, it did work out pretty good. What was your favorite part of the track, David?
I'm going to have to agree with that. Coming off that second tabletop into that right-hander, you have all the room to carry the speed. So that nice bowl turn, it definitely allows you to set up for that straightaway and carry all your speed through, which is nice.
Hey, you want to give us a couple secrets and tell us what lines and stuff you would have changed throughout the weekend to make it better so you could have gone faster?
I'm still trying to watch the videos and figure out myself what I can change, but I guess the outside, really momentum game on this track, kind of carrying the momentum around and keeping the speed up really seems to be the game out there.
I can definitely agree with that. A lot of the times when I was watching everybody, and I think this was just because it's a new track, like I feel like everybody needs to open it up a little bit, man. They could understand that there's more lines out there and it would offer up a lot more passing opportunities for some of the drivers. So you're right on the same page as me, man. I think it's going to be really, really cool to see the track evolve and all you guys get more speed as the races continue.
Yeah, I think the more we're on the track and everyone get more comfortable, I think it's going to blue groove a lot better. It's going to get faster towards the end of the season, I think.
Yeah, Blake Gustin said you were moving out there.
Yeah, he getting in the car after he did all the stuff to it. It was nice to be on a well set up car to run out there. So him and the guys back there at G3 definitely killed it with that.
Hey, so we know you were moving, but there wasn't it wasn't an easy race, man. You were battling for a long time with a lot of these guys.
Yeah, I mean Saturday, Austin had a tough break in the first race, but the second race it was definitely a fun, competitive race for the second moto on Sunday. Watching the drone footage, it seemed like he was on me the whole time, which was it was nice to get some racing in like that.
Yeah, and then there was a couple people like from third and fourth that kind of closed the gap a little bit and then fell back. It was like I don't know, like rubber band effect. Everybody kept coming up. It was awesome to see.
Yeah, it's good to see. It's not like a track where everybody gets spread out. It's nice that there's sections where people can bunch up and get.
Yeah,
some,
the F Payer 53 said Dinger gave him the heat. Yeah, but that's how it's supposed to be in racing, man.
Yeah.
Brian, what did you think about how tight the racing was?
Well, I was just going to say, I think that the Outlaw Expert class is probably one of our top classes in the series right now. The competition is stiff. I mean, I think either one of these guys can go pro, no problem.
Yeah, I can definitely attest to that, man. Oh, look who's here. Justin from Shock Therapy. What's up, homie?
What's up, guys? How's it going?
Oh, we're doing pretty good, man. We're just talking Texas. I didn't expect you to come on. Thanks for joining us.
And I'm sorry to mess with your feed, man. You guys had a good thing going there, but I've only got a couple of minutes, so I figured I'd say hi.
Yeah, dude. We had a really good time racing out in Texas. These guys did an awesome job.
You know, it looked like it. I didn't, haven't been to the event yet, but I had a chance to check in and watch some of the feeds and the coverage. You guys did a great job. The drone footage was killer. Everything seemed like it was run really well from my side.
Yeah, dude, thanks. I know you're a big desert guy, but if you ever got to race short course, you'd definitely love it out there, dude. It's awesome.
Well, from what I could see, it looked like you ordered the perfect dirt. If that's even possible, you did it. And it looked like it almost became an off-road race as everything got roughed up at the end.
Yeah, Brian can attest to that.
Yeah, that's true.
Poor short course cars trying to run through, 8-foot, chop. That would suck.
Hey, so David, actually tell Justin about that. Like, how did the track progress throughout the day?
It definitely did get a lot rougher towards the end of the day. But, I mean, it did turn into an MX-style track with some of the parts. But, I mean, it's all new dirt. So I'm sure that'll change over time once we pack it down some more.
Since Justin's the suspension expert, did you guys mess with your suspension throughout the weekend?
No, just wherever the suspension got put on the car, we kind of ran it like that and went from there.
I would imagine you'd have to change your lines once you've got some big holes that you need to drive around, right?
Yeah, there's a lot of tight turns. The middle driving lines were all the holes, and so definitely had to change it up a little bit, get tighter, or go out wider in some of the turns.
Hey, so David, did you have a bunch of different people from different locations in your class, like Texas? Obviously, you're from Pennsylvania. I think we saw some people from Florida. It was a pretty good variety.
Yeah, I think guys from Florida wasn't able to make this race, but I believe there's all the Texas boys and me.
Dude, Justin, it's so crazy to see all these people at one track.
That's one thing that I noticed when I checked in. It seemed like there was a lot of states represented, and to be able to pull from all over the country like that, that's a mark of a good event.
Yeah, I agree 100%. Hey, we really appreciate you supporting the live feed and the series, Justin. It means a lot to everybody.
I'm happy to do it. It seems like you guys are really kicking ass. You're grabbing a ton of momentum. We want to be part of that no matter what.
Cool, dude. Well, thank you very much. I know you got to get home to Jeanette, so tell her we said hello.
I will. Take it easy, guys. Have a good one.
Thanks, bud. Dude, how cool is that?
That's cool.
So we're going to have, let's see here, Cross Kirchmeier at 5:25 here. So we got about 5 more minutes. Did you get to watch any of the other racing, Dave?
Definitely. I just made sure to make time to watch the pro race, but other than that, kind of just spent some time hanging out under the tent. I mean, the heat out there, we're not used to that heat. I mean, I got a hoodie on now. It's about 70 degrees back home. So
Yeah,
being heat
they're
was
awesome. 67 degrees inside of this apartment right now. That's why I have a hoodie on.
yeah. I'm glad to be back.
You guys are enjoying the good weather now, huh?
Yeah.
So, like I was saying before, don't give away any of your secrets. But if you're gonna go out there for the next race, like, do you have? I always like to hear this because, like, when I used to come home from a race, I would always debrief with my team. I'd put together notes and a list and like what I could do better, what I didn't do well, like any of that stuff. Like, do you do the same thing so that you can progress and be better for the next race?
Yeah, I mean, just from watching the videos, I think the main thing we got to work on is tires, but I think everybody can agree with that for this track. Doesn't seem like there's anyone has a really set tire to run out there yet.
Yeah, exactly. And the guys at Maxxis were actually really, really helpful this weekend. I feel like they were giving tips to even some drivers that didn't run their tires. Right. And they actually came on the live feed, started talking about it. It was really interesting to hear the interactions between them, the drivers, what the choices ended up being, because it was like all over the map, right?
Yeah, it was all over the map, to be honest with you. And there were people that were running different front tires and rear tires.
That's crazy. I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
What did you end up choosing, Dave?
We went through 2 sets of tires. I mean, we tried to set up Maxxis SC1s, but they didn't really seem to work out there. It was like an ice rink, so we ended up going with like a snow tire type tread. And even
really?
that was a little difficult out there. The car still wanted to push in some parts of the track.
Yeah,
Watch
I think
Dave shows up all Pennsylvania style with spikes in his tires next time, Brian.
I think his main race was one of the unfortunate ones that got watered right before they started.
Yeah,
but that's racing, dude. Like we would have that happen all the time at Lucas and all the other series that we did. Like, you just got to deal with it, man. Everybody has the same track.
It's the best part. It's always changing.
Yeah, exactly.
Upper hand.
100%, man. So what's next on the list for you, Dave?
Hanging out, relaxing, back home with my little boy, and hanging out till September. Next round.
Dude, that's the best, right?
Yeah.
Oh, we're great. We already got Hunter Miller fans on. Boy Wonder saying Hunter Miller for president. Levi DeCarroll actually said it was great to meet you, David. So he must have met you this weekend as well. Him and his dad are fantastic.
Yeah, I actually met him at the Connex box at the end. Got to talking to him a little bit. I mean, he's pretty impressive for being 12 years old running in that class.
Yeah, so that's pretty cool to see. I was actually going to mention that, Brian. It's neat to see all the young drivers getting the opportunity to move through the ranks, like coming from 170s all the way up to 570s, and then like Levi running 12 years old, running a 1000, like Dave said.
Yeah, it's it's one of my favorite things about doing this is watching everybody come up through the ranks. Like I came up watching Chase Carr, who raced in the 170s, and now he's a pro stock driver. It's
pretty cool to see, and pretty soon he's going to be battling with Dave up there.
Yeah, no kidding.
All right, so again, like we're just kind of finishing off. You got to go, Brian, or you want to stay on for a little bit?
I got about 5 more minutes or so.
Okay, sounds good. We're going to get Cross Kirchmeier on here in just a second when he logs in. But yeah, Dave, like I mean, there was so many good parts about the weekend. Like you said, hanging out with the family and stuff. You picked your favorite part of the track. This is actually a really good question. Where do you think the best place to pass on the track was?
That was good.
After the second tabletop, gun into that right hand sweeper.
Oh, because you could dive on the inside?
It
We
seems
saw
like
that.
2 to 3 line choices that people can go with on that turn, which is nice.
Yeah, that's a really good one, actually. I didn't even think about that like at the beginning, but it kind of started developing towards the end of the day, right?
Yeah, the cushion started getting further and further, which allowed everyone was going all different around that turn, which was definitely changing each race.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, totally.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Now we got a big old
Now we got a big echo.
Cross. I think we might have
Cross,
to
I think we might have
log
that log back on, dude. We got a big echo.
Okay, 1 second. All right, Dave. Hey, we'll let you go, man. I appreciate you taking the time. I know it's late back there in Pennsylvania. You did a fantastic job this weekend, dude. We can't wait to see you at the races next time.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it. And definitely looking forward to meeting new faces next race and hanging out with everybody.
Yeah, well, while we wait to get Cross back on here, you want to throw a shout out to some of the people that helped you? Because there was a lot of people that you were talking about on the podium.
Yeah, I mean, definitely everybody back home. I mean, my girlfriend kept the house together. My little boy home, he was cheering me on, watching it live and all, which was cool. Everyone at Plymouth County, my buddy Kyle, who was a big part of the program, and then you got Blake and Ty with G3. The company back home, Concrete Cutting Systems. So without all them guys, I wouldn't have the support I have to be able to come out there and fly out there and race and try and just have fun with everybody out there.
Dude, you did a great job, man. I know Brian will attest to that.
Yeah.
It was cool seeing him out there.
All right, homie. Hey, get back to your kid and the family. Thanks for coming and hanging out with all of us.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
No problem.
Cheers.
All right, Brian. We'll see if Cross can join us again, and then we can say a couple words to him, and then you can dip out. It's cool to see it from a racer's perspective.
Yeah, it's cool. You know, I was gonna say when we were talking about how the track was rutting up, one of the chances that I get to see how the track really develops is when I do that competition caution for the pros.
Yeah.
And this time I remember going out there for the pro stock caution. And I'm looking at the track and my defender's like just bouncing all over the place. I'm like, oh man, these guys are getting it right now.
Yeah, because it's a totally different world, right? You're like, oh crap, and then you're like the pace car that has to keep up with the race cars.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh man, that's pretty cool though that you got to be able to do that. We actually got to take like the Maxis guys, Liqui Moly guys, and everybody on a sight lap after the first day of racing, and got to go view some of those portions of the track. Like, to me, dude, it doesn't get any better than when it's rougher at the end of the day. Like, that's like separating the men from the boys, right?
Oh yeah, no doubt about it. 100%.
Uh-oh. We had Chris Safrit said, who was the new red flag girl? Or the new flag girl?
Thinks he's got jokes, this guy. We don't even need to do that.
Is that a pretty funny joke?
It was his wife.
Oh. Shout out to the Safrit wife, huh? I don't know what her name is, Chris. All right. Well, I don't know if Cross is going to be able to come back on and why I was echoing so much, but I'll see if he's laughing at us. I'll see if we can get him back on again here. It was just a good weekend overall, man. Like, maybe give me some of your thoughts, like when you're during the weekend and after the weekend.
You know, after the weekend, my thoughts are, man, I need 3 more days to recover from this. But yeah, during the weekend, there was so much focus on dust this round, and it really was kind of a burn to have to worry about that much. I didn't even get a chance to like enjoy some of the racing that was going on, but I think that's important that we talk about that dust thing, because that's not how it's going to be all the time, right? As soon as the weather gets cooler, then the water sits and the ground gets more tacky. We don't have to worry about the dirt being so slick all the time, having to put water so much. So that's just one of the things that the racers need to keep in mind, because I know a few of them thought it got too slick, like Levi was commenting there. But yeah, as soon as the weather drops and the water sits down into the dirt better, it doesn't evaporate so fast. We have to water
Well, yeah, and then a lot of the parts that got dusty were the part that was brand new parts of the track. Like the track has to mature too as well. So,
Oh, yeah.
hey, so we got Cross Kirchmeyer on, dude. One of the fan favorites for the weekend as well. You did some serious driving in that last moto, homie.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Dude, you did really good. Brian, what was your thoughts on seeing that Honda just moving?
It's no surprise. Cross is always out there dominating. I mean, the only time that Cross doesn't hit the podium is probably because there was something wrong with his car.
So, what was your favorite
Yeah,
part of the What was your favorite part of the whole weekend, Cross?
really Sunday, I think probably my favorite part was the first time in the NA main on Sunday, getting out there and seeing how well the track had just been prepped the night before, and just the condition of everything. It just made for such an enjoyable race. Just everything being in such good shape.
Yeah, so that was a good move. I actually saw Brian getting on the track. We talked it over a little bit about what he was doing. He was kind of ripping the top of the soil, and it turned out to be awesome on Sunday for sure. Johnny Cultura said that, you were making moves. Good job.
Yep. But yeah, that was definitely the highlight there.
So how was it from the first day to the second day then? Did you have to change a lot of car setup, tires? Did you just listen to the track? Like, what were the differences? Like, give us the racer talk.
Yeah, I mean, car setup wise, I didn't really change anything. I felt the tire setup I had was good. It let me run in the hard pack and out in the edges and in the fluff if I needed to. But I mean, Saturday was it was definitely rougher. That was the biggest difference. It was rougher, and a lot of the outside was really hard to use. But when they did the track prep the night before, they broke up a lot of that, got a lot of and the way it just developed after the first couple races, the Pee-wees and track,
I think
it made it really, really good.
Yeah, I think that was probably the goal, right, Brian? The NTX Autosports said great job on the track prep Saturday night. So you learned a lot on Saturday during the day, and then we all actually thought the same thing. Like seeing the track develop and then seeing how good it turned out on Sunday was pretty awesome.
Yeah, and like I said before, that shout out to Kevin out there at Oak Hill. He showed me some things that we could do, and we ended up jumping on a couple pieces of his equipment out there, and then also my main man Elias out there who works all the equipment for me was out pretty late that night, getting everything dialed in, and then right back to being on the track at 8 in the morning. So shout out to both those guys for helping out, and it turned out really well.
Dude, so much hard work goes into playing in the dirt.
Yeah, it really does.
What was your favorite portion of the track? Like we just asked Dave, what was your favorite portion, Cross?
Favorite part, I really like the berm after the biggest tabletop in the middle. That right-hand berm is really fun to hit. And then I do enjoy the switchbacks over there, kind of close to the area where I made most of my passes, I guess. But the switchback area was fun.
Yeah.
The real fast straightaway, that kind of floater.
Yeah, that's true. Hey, so we had one question come up real quick, Brian, and then you can hit the road. Johnny Cultura asked if there's going to be another 12-hour race.
100% there's going to be a 12-hour race. I'm still being told that we can have a Texplex. I'm not 100% on that. But I have toured a couple other properties to check it out. And, yeah, no doubt about it. I'll probably be making an announcement here. What are we in? July. I would say early next month. People will start getting invites and stuff like that for wherever it's going to be. We will be having it, and it will be December 10th.
Brad, so I've actually heard rumblings of people from California wanting to come out to that thing already. So we can't wait to see where it is. Yeah, and D Green 242 said definitely got a new respect for the track crew after this weekend. It really goes to show, man. You put a lot of work and your heart into it. How good it can turn out.
He was one of them. Darren Green was one of those ones, getting up at 4:30 in the morning and watering the track until we started around 8, 9 o'clock.
Dude, so good. All right, Brian, I know you got to get going, homie.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for such a great weekend, dude. You did a fantastic job, and everybody at the track appreciates it.
Hey, man, you did a fantastic job yourself as well, and I can't wait for this next stop out in Utah.
Yeah, dude, I'm stoked. All right, we'll see you soon.
All right, bud. Thank you.
Later. All right, Cross, let's get back to business, man. So you race in the Pro Outlaw class, which is the top dog class. You race against the Miller brothers, Ben Fournier, who's going to come on in a little bit here. You race against all the pros, man. How is it with your Honda talent against some of those turbo cars, man? You did a fantastic job.
Yeah, obviously I'm pretty down on power, as far as horsepower wise and things, but it just seems like I can just corner so fast in that car, that's where I was making all my time up, was in the corners for sure.
Yeah, exactly. You were doing a really good job. I think it's some of those short corners, right?
Yeah, yeah, a lot of places where there's not a lot of run out for the turbos to get going, I guess, and really put their power to a good use. But yeah, a lot of the tighter corners and shorter little straightaway sections, I don't lose much time, and I'm able to gain it in, like I said, going through the corners.
Did you have one specific area that you were really working on to be able to make moves or to catch up, save lap times, like all that stuff?
Probably the main part I felt like I made the most time up was at the end of the long straightaway, that left-hander into that roller right there. I was able to seem like I was just putting a lot of time on them in that little section. Not necessarily the whole sharp U-turn section, but for sure that corner going into that.
Yeah, I think that was a really good spot. I talked about it all weekend. I think it was a really good spot for our people to start executing passes and doing some good stuff there. In fact, I was commenting on how proud I was of you that you made me look good on the camera or on the broadcast because you executed what I was talking about. So it was rad.
Yeah, there's not a lot of passing on the track. I know they're going to keep working on it, and Brian will get that kind of hashed out, maybe make some more places we can pass. But that's definitely one of the best spots the way the track is right now to try to make something happen.
Well, you know what's going to be rad is when the split lane becomes an even split lane so that you can go through there, because that's going to bunch everybody up like where you're talking about in that left-hander to those 180 chicanes, and then everybody's going to be bunched up and be able to shoot to the inside or the outside in that split lane. It's going to be awesome to see.
Yeah, oh yeah. Yeah, the split lane the way it was right now was not really usable besides the main line everyone took. But yeah, a little tweaking on that will definitely help.
And so anybody that's watching the broadcast or watching the live feed right now or is going to watch the live feed in the future, maybe give us a little breakdown on your car.
So on my car is basically internal wise, it's not bored out. It's not anything super special. It's got Brian Crower, basically full setup, pistons, rods, cams, and a head from Brian Crower, and then the velocity stack that my family builds, and exhaust that my dad's built, and that's it basically on race gas, and then PPEI helping with everything tuning wise.
Yeah, you did a good job. Caden Wells, hey, check out the shirt, dude. Just logged in. Risk Racing boys. Yeah, man, it looked like the car was actually handling really good. One of the things that I wanted to comment on was the suspension. You guys had a pretty dialed setup with your suspension. Did you make a bunch of either sway bar or suspension setup changes during the first 2 days, practice day and first race day?
I really didn't. It felt pretty good, pretty planted from the get-go. It's the exact same setup we were running at Texplex. I didn't end up changing anything, sway bar or anything at all. Pretty much ran it exactly like I did the round before.
Just feeling comfortable going for it, I guess, huh?
Yeah. Our setup, the one we got, my dad worked with George White last season a lot, and a lot of tinkering back and forth, and got a really good setup that works. Seems to be overall almost anywhere. When I did do the round in Mid-America, I ran the same setup. We didn't change anything. It just seems to just work well wherever I've gone.
It's cool to see that, though, too, because then you have to just make minimal adjustments, and your car is still pretty dialed.
Yeah. I mean, track conditions change, and I've adjusted it here and there for different things like that. But this weekend, it just seemed to work.
Dude, don't you love it when it's like that? You got to respect it, and then also hate it at the same time, though, because you don't want to get too comfortable because you know everybody else is going to come out firing even harder at the next round.
Oh yeah, definitely. I'm always trying to tweak with little things, but as far as the handling wise, suspension, I've just always felt comfortable in that blue car, so it's never let me down.
So, what other cars do you guys have? Because you guys have a pretty big Honda Talon, pits.
Yeah, we have quite a few cars. My dad's main car that he normally races is torn apart in the garage right now. He actually was racing a car that belonged to Mark Douglas, who had been running the Expert. He's getting into dirt track oval racing now. So my dad bought that car, so we had something to race for this weekend. And my sister has that yellow number 14 car. She's got that one out there. We have an X model that's with the narrower setup, and then we have for different things, tight tracks or woods racing. Trying to think if we have another one other than I have the turbo car that we are still working out, just little kinks and things like that. It's very different to drive, so hadn't had a lot of time to spend on it.
That's a lot of
Focusing on
cars to
the
work on, man.
NA
Hey,
car.
and thanks to the Rugged Radio boys for joining. We appreciate it. That's a lot of cars to work on, though.
Oh yeah, it's a lot. My dad works on all of them. I do a little bit when I can to help, but I run our automotive repair. I don't have a ton of time to spend on them, so my dad spends a ton of time during the week, puts in a lot of hours to get everything ready. This last week, he was spending a lot of time to get everything ready for that weekend.
Yeah, I mean it's a full-time job just to get the one car ready, let alone more than one. All right, so kind of like I asked Dave, what was if you were debriefing on the way home with your team, your dad, your sister, everybody, what's some of the things that you think you could do better going forward?
I still think we have. Sorry, cut out. We had a pretty good tire setup, but I think there's definitely improvement to be done there.
Sorry, guys, it looks like his feed is cutting out a little bit.
Sorry, yeah, just from being a new track, learning tire set, figuring out what tire.
Tires were such a big deal this weekend too. It's cool to see that they can choose so many different compounds and different knobby setups and stuff too.
Yeah, it's definitely different.
Is that about it?
Then? Yeah, tires are the.
Go ahead. Looks like we kind of got a bad connection cross, but yeah, you're right. Like tires make such a big difference. It looked like your setup was pretty dialed though, man. It took you a little while to get it honed in on Friday and Saturday.
Yeah, there was a lot of with the way they were watering, which was great to keep the dust down, but a lot of like unknown as if they were going to water right before your moto or not. So we're kind of trying to figure out what the best tire setup is to be able to do good either way, and things like that. So, and as Brian was saying, as they get things kind of dialed in where it's more consistent, then I think the tire setup is going to get more consistent as well.
Yeah, totally. I can definitely agree with that. Jay Constable said, cross his beard, messing with the Wi-Fi. Oh, that's funny, man. Well, it's cool, man. I think you did a great job this weekend, and I mean, you guys were battling so hard and so close. Actually, maybe because I already know how it feels, but maybe give your opinion or I don't know how you feel when you're battling in a side-by-side, and let the audience know that close with somebody like Hunter Miller. I mean, like you're inside, outside. I mean, it's like knockdown, drag-out battles, dude. It's sweet.
Yeah, it is, and it really makes a difference knowing who you're racing with too. That's like such a huge factor in all the classes, knowing if you can trust someone, if they're gonna just wipe you out going into a corner, or if they're gonna hold their line. Yep. I've been racing with Hunter for years. Haven't not so much lately, but when side by side first started out, I was racing with him all the time, and he's good, consistent driver. I can trust where he's gonna stick his line. He may rub a little bit, but he's not gonna clean your clock. So. You can trust diving into a corner with someone like that.
Dude, that's like the best racing too. Like you get off the track. I mean, even if you came home third, right? Like you get off the track and you're like, dude, yes, that was such a sick moto of battling.
Oh yeah, I mean, even in the NA race, the first half was kind of not very eventful, but after I got that flat tire, halfway after the caution, mm-hmm. and the whole pack caught up to the back of me, and I'm trying to keep them behind me, and they're trying to get that, that makes it a lot of fun. It's very stressful at the moment, but that's what makes it fun.
Do you have a spotter telling you what's going on too, or are you guys just doing it yourself?
Yeah, we don't do radios. I don't really believe in that. I don't know. It just seems like it's against the purity of the racing. So I just never wanted to do that, and we've never messed with it.
Levi DeCarroll said, question for Cross, how hard were you pushing in that stock pro class on that flat tire?
I was pushing pretty hard. That when I first knew it was flat, you have that instant of like, okay, is my race over? Do I just stop and not hurt the car? Do I just push it, see what happens? And after just a couple corners, I was like, I'm just gonna see how fast I can run on this thing. And yeah, it was every left-hand corner was sketchy. I could feel the rim digging in. I ruined that rim. It's got so many flat spots in it now. But definitely, you gotta drive differently and adapt fast.
Yeah, so it sounds like you were still pushing as hard as you could possibly go.
Oh yeah.
J.M. Morrison, 96. Cross is a good dude to race bikes with as well. Good battles. Yeah, so you probably love the battles then, huh?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Always. I mean, that's what makes it fun. I mean, yes, boring races are good because it usually means you're, not having anything bad happen, or like Colin, being able to be in the lead almost the whole weekend. It's boring, which is good, but all the fun happens when you either get a really bad start or have an issue. That's when the good, memorable stories happen.
Yeah, dude, exactly. And plus, like, it really, I don't know. We talked about it with Brian and David. Like, it makes it so that when you're battling like that, you can open up the corners. You can search for new lines. Like, it forces you to be a different driver and expand your skill set, like, pretty much naturally, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. And one of my worst things, as most anyone that knows, terrible at starts. I cannot start to save my life. Motorcycles, side by sides, almost
Just always sleeping at the
on
start,
the
I guess,
starts.
huh?
So yeah, so I've gotten good at making passes and seeing where lines are and like that. So that's one of my skill sets.
Dude, it's pretty awesome to see, man. You did a fantastic job. I think we're going to get Hunter Miller on in just a second here. I wanted to see if we could overlap you guys a little bit so guys could talk trash to each other. But yeah, man, if you got to go, just let me know. Are you able to stay on a little bit?
If whatever you need me to do.
Yeah, man, hang on. Let me see if I can get Hunter on here in a little bit. Hunter, you got to update your app, dude. That's why the button's not there, because you got to update. Here we go. Let's see if it works now. Yeah, I figured it'd be kind of cool so you guys could talk with each other. Hunter Miller, what's up, man? You did a
What's
fantastic
happening?
job this weekend. Big victory on Saturday. Sunday, not quite as good of luck. Were you just hot? Like, what was going on? You need a hot dog?
No, Cross was hot. I was cold.
It was so rad to see you guys battle. Like, dude, I was just thinking, like, what you got, like, how big of a smile you guys had on your faces in the cars, because you were so close the whole time.
Oh yeah, man, I was having an absolute blast. To be honest with you, I didn't really know he was there, and then after the restart, I heard this obnoxious Honda behind me, and the sound wasn't getting quieter. And then all of a sudden, he's coming up the inside of me. I was trying to run all the outsides of the corners. My tire setup wasn't really conducive to running the insides, but it was working for me the first half of the race. Then all of a sudden, Cross started coming underneath me, and I started running all the insides. And it was just a matter of time before he got me. So it was a lot of fun.
That's actually a good point to bring up. Like, let's have Cross answer first, and then you answer second. But so when you're in a position like Hunter was, like in second place, and you have somebody chasing you down, and then you also need to make up time, which was on your brother at the time, Cody. He was out front. You start trying to open up your turns to be able to start making a little bit of time, like inch by inch, getting back up to your brother. And then you got Cross on your back door. Like, how do you work that out? Like, Cross, what do you think? What would you have done?
It's hard, and that track, again, we're learning tire setups, and the way it was set up, there was definitely like two lines on that track. There was an outside line if you wanted to hug the cushion, and an inside line you could dive in on if your car would hold it. And it just depends on what your car can do. Most of the time, I try to just hold my line. I try not to change for who's behind me, because it usually ends up slowing everyone down, unless last lap they're all over you, block like crazy. But middle of the race, I usually try to just hold my fast line, and if I'm faster, I stay in front.
What about you, Hunter?
Man, I generally agree with that. Like Cross said, if your car would hold the insides, which mine with my setup would not do, and then when I tried to run it, obviously it bit me. But no, I agree with that. I mean, I was making up a little bit of time on Cody before the caution flag, and then it was pretty much right off the bat. Obviously, on the restart, Cross was right on me, and I chose to try and block him. I mean, there were multiple lines in the track, but it was also a little tough to pass if somebody was really running the insides. But it seemed like the harder I tried to do that, the further I blew off the track. So, Cross made quick work of me.
Yeah, totally. It looked like to me I would have increase the ride height in the rear for your car or decrease the front of it? Because it looked like you got to get a little bit more bite out of the front end.
Yeah, and a lot of it was tires. On Saturday, I chose to go with the knobby tire, and more or less just to see what it would do because we've been running the SC1s for so long out at Texplex. But actually, they watered right before our moto, and it worked out awesome. I mean, I started, I think, fourth and got up to first pretty quick. And then on Sunday, at the beginning of the day, it looked pretty deep and wet, and I knew they were going to continue to water, so I left the Liberties on and gave it another shot. But by the time our moto came around, it was pretty dry. So I had the car set up for coming out of the corners and not necessarily going into them and steering real hard. I've had it set up at Texplex for a while, but definitely will make some changes for the next one. That's for sure.
Yeah, good racers always do, right? I still don't disagree with your tire choice, though, man. I'm a big fan of knobby tires and UTVs, so I like where
and I actually had some more knobby tires on my car, which I was going to run, but since I got the flat and ruined the tire and wheel, I threw on the Hoosiers that my dad had to just see if that would work, and it definitely worked out in my favor.
Yeah, totally. Let's see. We got a couple comments come in. Boy Wonder 425 said, y'all are talking about tires on the track. When y'all get that down, going to be a tighter race. Dude, I think it's going to be tighter racing no matter what going forward because everybody's getting their stuff dialed in.
Oh yeah, no doubt. I mean, that track was completely new to everybody. I've raced at Oak Hill 20 years now. I'm sure Cross is right there behind me. He's a little younger than I am, but we've been going there a long time. But it was always on the motocross track, back in our motocross days. And the dirt from the motocross track to the side-by-side track is quite a bit different. It's really sandy down there in the bottom where the national track is. And up on top, we didn't really know what to expect, but they did such a freaking awesome job of prepping it that it did pack out and groove, but there was no dust, and the outside cushion just stayed nice and loamy. So you really couldn't go wrong with either tire. It would depended on the part of the track which worked better, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
There were a couple turns that were pretty sandy and then quite a few that were more hard pack. It just depends on the type of lines you like to run. But for sure, everybody learned something this weekend and is going to make changes and get better.
Yeah, totally. C. Robinson 66 said, "Who's the dude with the beard?" Is that one of your homeboys?
Oh yeah, that's Chris.
Right on. So what was your guys' favorite part of the track? Actually, Cross, you already answered this. What was your favorite part of the track, Hunter?
Wasn't getting past my Cross, I can tell you that. No, favorite part, man, I really liked the faster section in the back where I think it's your favorite part too, George, where you're coming into that 180, you hit that tabletop and kind of throw it sideways in the air and drive straight into that corner, and then you're flying down that straightaway into that 180 left.
I feel like it's really smooth, like where you can just transition the car and you can be like kind of light on the wheels, right? Like, and just move it around until you get like 3/4 of the way through that like left-hander, and then it starts just biting and binding the car, and then you shoot off of it. Yeah,
that part of the track flowed really well. And then, you're in that fast section, you get up to the top and you go back into that section that was just 180, 180, 180. So, that's one of the cool things about that track. It's not horsepower at all, it's definitely a driver's track and a setup track for sure.
When you talk about the driver's track, and you guys have been on the track together a lot, do you guys each have a favorite time when you were battling? Like when maybe a corner where you got next to each other? Because I saw you guys in like probably 3 corners. It looked like synchronized swimming, like a Pro 4 race where you're like coming around the corners and stuff. So maybe you guys could tell us what your favorite portion was. How about Cross? You go first.
I mean, the best part was when I passed them, of course. But when I really diving in on them that very first time I tried to make the pass at the end of that long straightaway.
That was a gutsy move. I got to be honest. That was a pretty gutsy move.
I really thought I was going to be further up on them when I got there. But when I was in the air going over that roller, I was like, well, I'm already committed. So I threw it sideways. That's why I hit him with my back tire because I was trying to avoid him. And we got together. It just basically, we were like stuck together all the way up that next straightaway.
We were stuck together because I was turning left into him as hard as I could.
Yeah, you were trying to push me off the track.
True bumper car style.
Well, I mean, it's door to door, so there's really not much that can go wrong, right there. So, no, but I mean, Cross and I have raced together forever. I mean, since we started racing side by sides, actually. And so I know he's not going to do anything stupid and take me out. And I think he knows likewise for me. I mean, yeah, we were bashing on each other right there, but where he actually made the pass, I mean, it was a pretty tight spot. And for sure, had he not given me a little room and I not given him a little room, we'd have probably both gone flipping over the fence. So I think there's definitely some mutual respect there. And it makes for great racing.
Dude, you couldn't have scripted it any better. Like, it was so rad to see. Like, I honestly don't think anybody at the track expected it to happen where it did in that final corner.
Yeah, no, and not me either. That's for sure.
Yeah, when we were diving into that little jump there, we hit it at the same time, and I was like, just ready for an impact. Like, if it was going to happen, I dove off to the right, and I was like, man, hopefully he's got enough room over there. Yeah. We can get through this together. Neither of us were letting out the throttle.
Yeah, yeah. And I tried to hug the tree a little further inside than I typically do. And, I mean, it was perfect, It's what it's all about.
Yeah, Levi DeCarroll said he was standing there right when you guys were talking to each other after the race, and it was nothing but jokes and playing. So that's cool to see that you guys have that camaraderie. Shoot, I just lost my point of thought that I was going to ask you guys. Hunter, did you have any other things to say? What?
It's neat because I haven't got to battle like that with Hunter in several years now. Whenever the turbo cars came out, we never really went to the turbo side of things. We always stayed in A, so we don't get to battle very much, if hardly ever anymore. So it was kind of neat. It was almost like a throwback to, 5 years ago when we used to do that stuff all the time.
Yeah, 5 or 10. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's been so long now.
It was a good time, and that's what I think super cool is, really the turbo cars don't have any kind of advantage on that track. I mean, if they lengthen it out a little bit and throw some bigger straightaways in there, I think maybe the horsepower will come back into play. But realistically, I mean, Cross's car is I wouldn't even say it's the fastest car in the stock class. I mean, it's definitely well up there, but it just shows you that the track is all about driving, So hopefully some more of the NA guys want to jump up into our class and we can get everything a little bigger and more competitive.
Yeah, that's good. And Jules, actually, she just commented in, or he, I don't know who it is, but what were the pros lap times compared to the expert drivers? I don't know. I didn't look at any of the lap times. Do either of you guys know if they were close?
I'll be honest.
I did not look.
Yeah, I didn't look either. It's kind of hard to compare because, some classes got water right in front of them. Some classes didn't.
Yeah.
It's tough, but yeah, I have no idea. I can't imagine they're too far off. I mean, a lot of those expert guys are super fast now.
Yeah, I agree 100%. All coming up to be in the pro class. It's going to be awesome to see you guys have like 2 or 3 rows of pros in the next year or so. So one of the things that I was thinking of is like, you just mentioned, Hunter, and tell me if I'm wrong, that the NA cars can keep it close on the track the way it is. Chris Sappert said 3 seconds. 3 seconds is a lot on that track. But Hunter, you were saying that the turbo cars don't really have an advantage. I don't know if I completely agree with that. I think the turbo cars can still have a good advantage. I think it's because it was the first weekend of racing there. I think that you guys, your brother, everybody else is also going to increase in speed as you figure out what's best on track and a little bit different setup. I mean, even if you make a couple setup changes, that's going to increase your guys or decrease your guys' lap times by quite a bit.
For sure. I agree with that. But I mean, the NA guys are going to do the same thing, you know? I definitely don't think any of them were at their max potential, just like us. So
good point.
For sure. We'll figure some stuff out, but there's a lot of really tight turns and, it's not a long straightaway afterwards. So it takes a little bit of time for our cars to build the power back up where the NA cars, I mean, when I was behind Cross, I mean, it was pretty impressive how he just really didn't have to let off anywhere. So he was really able to keep his momentum up and that thing laid down some really good grip. So it was cool. I mean, I'm excited to see what happens with it. The track's pretty awesome. I mean, of course, it needs a few little minor tweaks, but nothing major at all. I mean, I'd say half a day's worth of work, and you could probably improve it,
Yeah.
4% or so.
Yeah, super mellow stuff. Jules actually said, how much horsepower does your car have, Hunter and Cross? Well, you got to remember, it's not necessarily horsepower. It's the horsepower to weight ratio. That's what actually makes the biggest difference. And there's a lot of differences there. So let's see here. Green says, Hunter only gets beat once. It's talking trash across. It won't happen again.
I've been beat plenty of times. Don't worry.
Oh, man. It's so cool that you guys have so much respect for each other. I think it's like, to me, that's the best part, right? Just like Levi was saying that he saw you guys just having so much fun after the races. We asked everybody else, Hunter, what was your favorite part of the weekend?
Be honest with you, getting in the air conditioning in my truck afterwards. Summer heat out here is not fun, but
dude,
no,
it's gnarly, right?
Yeah. No, I mean, battling with Cross honestly was for sure most fun I've had in a while. I wish it would have gone a few more laps. I would have liked a chance to get back at him, but next time.
Yeah, it's gonna be cool. If you had, one thing that you think you could have done better, would you have drank more electrolytes?
No, I went and got an IV right before I left to go out there, so I think I was pretty well hydrated. But no, I was okay with the hydration part of it, but I guess you can never have too many.
Yeah, exactly. Well, look at who we have here, the grizzly bear himself. What's up, Ben? How are you?
What's up?
Good to see you, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me on.
Yeah, dude, no problem. So you got to battle with these boys all weekend. How was it?
Oh, it was great. It was great until I wasn't making any power on Sunday. I had a boost leak, so I had no power after lap 1.
Was your foot tired or was it the car?
It was the car. I had a big rip in one of my boost tubes. So
Cross didn't have any boost either.
I know, right?
That was a good one, dude. You kind of got me speechless on that one.
Yeah, I mean, there's not much I could say for that.
So D Green said, how did it feel to help your brother set up, Hunter? Not to have your
to do what?
To not have to help your brother set up.
Not good, actually. It should have taken me an hour and a half to get to the track. Ended up taking about 4.5. There's 2 ways to go to Decatur from my place. You can either go up 380, which is like 50 miles of red lights, or you can go through Dallas. And he said he's going up 380. I was like, dude, you're dumb. And I went through Dallas and sat on the freeway for 4.5 hours.
That's what you get, right?
Yeah.
Hey,
exactly.
So Cross, we're going to talk with Ben and Hunter a little bit. You want to throw a shout out to some of the people that helped you?
Yeah, I mean, my dad is the main, basically my crew chief. Even though he's on the track same time with me, he's, always working, getting the car set up. The Douglases, Mark Douglas was there as well, doing pit crew stuff, and just all my sponsors, Brian Crower, PPI, motorsport.com, Red Camel Racing with the fire suit. Just, I have a lot of people in the background that have put me where I am.
It takes an army, dude. Hey, but you did a good job this weekend. Keep it up, man. We can't wait to see you next time.
Yeah, man, I appreciate it.
All right, see you later, homie. Disgruntled cops, we're not going to say your comment online. We're just not.
That's Tom.
All right, so you guys had a good weekend, man. I'm kind of jealous because you guys got to hang out and go in the pool after the races. How was it?
Oh, it was great. I mean, we're looking at it right now. It's right behind me. So,
Way to rub it in.
Yeah.
And so, Ben, we already asked the boys, what was your favorite part of the whole weekend or of the track? I guess both, actually.
Oh, I mean, I would say the dirt was one of my favorite things for sure. The place is amazing. Facility's awesome. Location's great too. Really, really enjoy the location of where it's located. I would say
it's like 3 minutes from your house.
I mean, it's
that's what I was sold on. Try 45.
It's like 20 minutes, but Hunter drives slow everywhere besides on the track.
Hey, so I don't want to get too far off the subject, but I do agree that Ben drives like bat out of hell, because we got from Love Field out to Decatur, Texas in about 33 minutes.
Yeah, he knows his way around.
All right. So what was your favorite part of the course then, Ben?
Towards the end of the weekend, it was actually those rollers, like into the 180s. I really started to like that whole section, and not having boost, I just kept it floored pretty much going into it, and I couldn't over jump it.
What's the move then, Hunter? Like when you get into those, because it was like a high speed and you kind of roll over, you go down, like kind of reminded me of Unadilla where you go down and you have to turn around and come back up. Like, can you scrub over those things, or like what? How do you get through that quick?
I mean, kinda. I mean, you can't really, obviously you can't use your body on side by side, but you can use your brakes and steering wheel a little bit. I mean, you can't scrub like on a dirt bike, obviously, but
Right.
yeah, I mean, that's one thing I definitely focus on, especially like that section that had the two tabletops. I mean, I come up to them as hard as I possibly can and then jam on the brakes, and I'll actually carry the brakes a little bit off the face. And I just kind of give the wheel a little flick right before the front tires leave, and it kind of set me up, into those into the turn pretty well.
Yeah, just to carry your car the way you want
Yeah,
it.
it's nothing major. I mean, it's a very, very minuscule move, just to kind of get you pointed in the right direction. But every little bit helps, that's for sure.
Yeah, totally. That's good advice, though, for all of us other drivers, too. Ben, how about you, man? Because it seemed like you were cruising through those sections pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I focused on Friday. Was I wasn't going to get off the track until I got all the jumps dialed. So that was kind of my whole plan with practice, and I did that, and it helped me out for sure.
Brian Barkowski said, actually, you guys should both answer this. This is a fantastic question that I should have asked you guys before. What was the hardest part of the course?
Go ahead, Ben.
Ooh, the two little rollers right after the start going into that sand section.
That's what I was going to say.
If you busted that second roller a little bit and you got into the sand, you were done. Someone was going to get you.
I didn't mind that section. Matter of fact, that was one of my strong points. I was, there was on the restart, I tried going around the outside of Cody in there, but
you made up a lot of time there. I don't know how you did it. It was crazy.
Yeah, everybody was kind of hugging the inside, and there was huge holes there, and I didn't really understand why everybody was driving through them. So I just kind of
because we had different tires.
Yeah, I guess I put my inside tire in them a little bit, but I was just carrying my speed around the outside of it, and then stayed further to the left over the first roller, and then I would cut across to try to open up my corner a little bit for that really tight right-hander you had right after that. To me, the hardest part of the track were those 180 switchbacks. Like I said, my car's a little bit on the bigger side, and it was set up for big, fast, loose stuff. And those turns were super tight and pretty hooked up. And there was 3 of them in a row, So actually, 1, 2, 3, 4 of them in a row. So I struggled a little bit with those. That's something I've got to work on for the next race for sure. But it's not that they're necessarily hard. They're just technical. If you screwed up your line even a little bit, you'd blow to the outside of it and cost yourself a bunch of time.
Yeah, it actually looks like it was like you'd really mess up. Like if you had screwed up the entry to that first 180, you'd be toast the whole way through. Hey, Ben, we got about 1,000 people asking, what's your hat?
Oh, it's a company I started. It's called TLDM. It's Think Less, Do More. And these hats actually launched like 2 weeks ago now.
So what are you saying? I should think less and just do more?
Yeah, exactly. Too much of the time people are thinking too much, not doing enough.
So maybe that's what Hunter was doing during the race.
Definitely.
Yeah, I wasn't doing much of anything.
No, I think you guys all did a fantastic job, man. Like, honestly, as much crap as we give you, Hunter, it's because we love you, first of all. And then, like, dude, it was just such a good racing weekend. Like, I don't think as a fan I could have asked for anything more.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, on Saturday, Cody and I had an awesome battle. On Sunday, I mean, we started to have an awesome battle, and then me and Cross did. I mean, it was a good time for sure.
Yeah, I thought it was fantastic. Ben, if you had to change anything that you did over the weekend other than the turbo, what would it have been?
Tires. I wish I would have changed tires on a Saturday for sure. That was a big mistake on my part. I skated all around.
I mean, that's you live and you learn though, right?
Well, I mean, the track looked perfect when I rolled up, and then they watered it right as we were sitting on the line. So I thought I picked the right choice, but Hunter came in and definitely had the right choice.
Did either of you guys get to watch any of the racing that was going down other than your guys' motos?
I did. I was actually watching a lot of it because I was trying to figure out what the track was going to do. It, like I said, tires were the biggest thing you had to decide on, and I was watching it constantly. Got to watch that one expert race with you in the booth, which was a lot of fun. Ended up, I think, being one of the better races of the day for sure.
It did.
Yeah, it was a good one.
That Pro and A race was awesome to watch too.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, dude, those guys were ripping. Did other people, other drivers and other teams come to you guys kind of, talking it out and asking you guys what you thought of the track, what tires you're going to use, kind of just relaying information back and forth?
Oh, for sure. I mean, that's one of something I try to focus on is helping as many people as I can. So, every weekend, of course, it's people coming up and asking what we think. And I always try to give the best advice I can, at least within my knowledge. And so, yeah, I mean, I was trying to figure it out like everybody else was too, though.
Yeah, but it does help, man, especially, like when you have those conversations. I know for me, like if anybody asked me, I would ask them first to give me what they thought about it, and then I try to give them some information back. But you know what? I would learn a lot in those situations too, because they would give me information that I might not have even thought about.
Yeah, and if it's somebody like Ben or Cross, I'm just going to BS them and tell them the extreme.
What kind of tires do you want to use? You want to use a 762 21-inch front tire off your dirt bike. That's it.
Obviously, yeah. Or take all the air out of it too.
Yeah, exactly. We don't have very many more comments coming in. So Ben, what are you going to do for next round other than fix your turbo?
I'm going to change tires for sure, and maybe try to get out there and practice some. But next round, I think, is Utah. So,
are you guys both going to come out, or how do you feel about coming to the West Coast, Hunter?
I would love to. It's still kind of up in the air for us. We've got so much going on right now. We're getting ready to go to Fall Crandon, and Hammers is right around the corner. We've got a lot of cars to build, and we're right in the middle of fabricating all the chassis. Our S3 is doing a couple of chassis, and we're doing some of the stuff in-house here, but we've got about 6 cars that we've got to get assembled. Yeah, a lot of work, 6 race cars at that. So it's a ton of work, that's for sure.
We were actually just talking about, I'm here at IMG Motorsports today. We were just talking about James wants to get a program maybe for Hammers as well. So like he was talking about it now. It's so crazy how far you have to plan in advance now. And this, like, UTV racing has gotten so competitive and so awesome.
Oh man, we've been wide open getting ready since March. And I kind of feel like we're behind, to be honest with you.
Man, so crazy. Oh, 2 comments just came in that are actually pretty good. Effin Glansberg said, would Cheney have won if he was there? Of course, Kyle always wins, right?
Yeah, I don't know about that.
I'm just joking, dude. I just love when comments come in like that because it's a little bit of a gut-wrenching one, and it's also seeing what your reaction's going to be.
Yeah. Well, nobody likes Effin Glansberg.
Nope. No one.
Not one person. You could take a poll out of everybody in Ohio, and not one person is going to like it.
Man, big Ohio guy, huh? Let's see here.
Yeah.
We also had a comment come in. Riled Up Racing said, any thoughts on limited stock? I don't know what that actual comment means, but maybe it's just, seeing how fast they were going. I don't know.
I don't know.
I think limited stock is awesome. Join the limited stock class and race against them. All right, so I appreciate you coming on, Hunter. We're going to have Chase Mankin come on. Oh, there he is. Hey, Chase, how are you?
Is.
Can you hear us, Chase? Hey, bud, I think you're going to have to log off and log back on, all right? Hunter, we're going to let you go, though.
Yeah, I heard dog.
Yep, I'll catch you later, guys. See y'all.
Later. Chase, can you hear us?
Yeah. Sorry if I lose connection. I don't have the best service right here.
That's okay. It sounds like it's doing all right. So, Ben, did you get to watch this fast little youngster drive at all?
Yeah, I did. He definitely was moving out there.
It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool to see the young guns, huh?
Oh yeah, I mean he was stretching them.
So, have you ever driven an RS1 actually, Ben?
No, I've never been behind the wheel of one.
Dude, they're pretty fun cars. Is that one of your funnest cars that you'd like to drive, Chase? Man, it looks like he's got a pretty bad internet connection. Chase, why don't you log off, and then maybe try to log on with just your cell phone instead of the Wi-Fi. We can't hear you either, bud.
No? Okay.
Log off and then log back on without Wi-Fi, maybe. Yeah, Ben, I honestly, like, when we got there on Friday, I was looking at the track. I was like, dude, the dirt looks so good. I did not expect it to get as rough as it did at the end of the day. And you guys had one of the roughest motos.
Oh yeah, it definitely got real rough. I mean, I expected that. I mean, I've grown up racing out at Oak Hill Motocross, and the dirt always, I mean, it gets deep. So I expected it to, form some pretty big like shelves and ledges and corners. And I like it to get rough. I mean, it makes for better racing.
Dude, I think the same. The rougher the better, in my opinion, always.
Yeah, and that's why I like the pros should go towards the end. Step it up to the faster guys at the end so they get a gnarlier track.
Yeah, totally. It makes for good racing, though, too. I think that's the best way to look at it as well. All right, well, we're gonna see if we can get Chase and have a couple conversations with him. Ben, I appreciate you. Well, obviously picking me up at the airport, and you did a great job this weekend with the limited amount of power that you had.
Yeah. All right, thanks. Have a good one.
Later, homie. Thanks for joining.
Bye.
All right, Chase, can you hear me, homie?
Yeah, I think I got you now.
Oh, okay, cool. Well, man, you've been busy. You're doing a lot of racing.
Oh yeah, we just came out to MAO, so we're out here relaxing. We get today to relax, and tomorrow it's right back at it.
Yep, that's the way it goes, though. If you want to become a professional, you practice, right?
Yep.
Looks like Gray Kelly said, what's up, Chase?
Hey, Greg Kelly.
So what did you think of the new track? Because I remember talking to you a little bit while we were at the races, and you were saying that was your first time to Texas.
Yeah, this is my first time out in this area. So yeah, I never really did any of the Texplex, so I can't really compare it to that. But I really like the track out here at Outlaw. I thought it was awesome. The dirt was great. I thought it was a really good track.
So some of the other drivers were talking, like, we've been talking about tires a lot this show, but what was your, like, I don't know, when you first get there, you're like, oh no, like, this is way different than what I'm used to. Like, what do you guys do as a family or as a team to be able to know what you're going to go with? Like, do you just say, okay, we're going to try each tire every practice and figure out which one we like best, or how does it work?
Well, we started off, we were going to come out here and run Nobby's, the Bighorn 2.0s on the mod car, and then the Maxxis SC1s on the stock car to see which one works better. And then the track just started to get really muddy, so we decided to not even try the SC1s and just go straight with the Bighorns. And I think that was the right call because for most of my races, it was really wet. The track also wasn't really blue grooved for the SC1s.
Yeah.
So I think we made the right tire choice, but later in the race, you can see the SC1s start to come in a little better.
Yeah, as the track hard packed a little bit or got more packed in. If you were going to give any advice to, like, maybe some more of the newer racers, what would you tell them? Would you tell them to go out there and, use whatever tire they have available and adjust tire pressure, or maybe change like sway bar links, like easy stuff like that first?
Oh, well, yeah, if you don't have the budget to go out and buy another tire set, that's what we did. We didn't want to go out here just for a race or two and go buy some 27s for that. So we just ran with the 29s, which we were like the only ones doing that. But yeah, if you want more traction, so if you're a newer driver, I would recommend dropping tire pressure because it'll make the car easier to drive. Where if you want to start pitching around the corners, maybe start getting the tire pressure higher. So
yeah,
that's kind of what we've been doing.
And maybe tighten up your sway bar if you want to pitch it more and drive a little bit more aggressive.
Exactly.
Well, you were doing really aggressive driving, and you were doing a fantastic job this weekend. I mean, you came out swinging, like even in the first practice and stuff. Like, you came out really aggressive. I like that because that means you're not scared of the new track and the new surroundings. How did you feel?
Well, we got a couple summers ago. We were at like Glen Helen track, which is a short course track. Almost, it's honestly a pretty similar track compared to the new track, and that's kind of how I've gotten my confidence, just to come out there, see, okay, this corner's not, it's pretty smooth, and then I don't know. I feel like that gives you the confidence to say, hey, let's do this.
Yeah, I just think it's a really good quality for young racers or racers in general to have, is to be able to come out strong. Because like most of the time, like me, for instance, like I come out a little slower. It takes me longer to get faster. Like towards the end of the day, I'll have my fastest lap times because I'm getting more used to it. So to see you come out swinging was really impressive to me.
Yeah, I've actually done a lot of work on that because when I started racing, even in the 5-7, probably even last year, those first laps I'd just be like not on pace at all, and then towards the end of the practice, I'll get 2 seconds faster, 3 seconds faster, and then I'll start being on the pace. But I've learned to just adapt quicker, I guess.
Yeah, it's cool that you're learning that so young. So, talking about adapting, you have two cars. You have what you call a stock car and a mod car, right?
Yeah, so the stock car is our works car that I've been running. It's just got a pipe, tune, race gas, all that kind of stuff. Where the mod car's got fully built benchmark motor with intakes, all that stuff.
The bad boy, right? So
Yeah.
when you had those motos, I think the stock one was first and the mod one was second, or was it vice versa?
We ran the stock car first and then the mod one second.
So there's two questions that I want to ask here. Is like, how was the track between those two races?
It was really similar because that first day they didn't water much until they had to get a new watering schedule for all the dust. So we ran both cars in the first practice. We swapped out about halfway, and yeah. So the track was pretty similar for both cars.
So you pretty much kept the same setup. You didn't do any adjustments, or you did?
We did some sway bar adjustments on the mod car, just because in practice I was even running like a second or two faster in my stock car than I was the mod car. So.
Do you think that was just because you would lose less or break less traction?
I actually don't think that. I think it's because I was just way more comfortable in that car. This was my first time. This was my first race in the mod car.
Oh,
So I think it was just not having the confidence in that car.
yeah, just kind of getting used to it. Seat time, I guess, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
And then, so what do you think was better about either one of those cars on the track? Because we had a couple comments come in earlier about horsepower and power to weight and like things like that. So maybe give a little bit of information to everybody that's watching, like which car you like better and what you think could do better in certain situations.
Well, it honestly depends on the track because this track, for me, what I'm used to, this is a really fast track, which is kind of the opposite of what I've been hearing people say out here. So the mod car, I think, is obviously gonna be faster out here. In the race, I ran a 156, where in my stock car, my fastest was like a 2 minute. So I was about 4 seconds faster in the mod car.
So power did have a massive issue. Moto Dad 805, what's up, man? Yeah, so power did have play a big role in it. That's interesting to hear, though, too, is because we had some people on the show just earlier talking about power necessarily didn't mean a lot, but I know power to weight is like the way that you do it. But you have close to the same weight, but you have more power. It actually seems like that really benefited you. 4 seconds is a lot.
Yeah, that car is also, it's not lighter because of the weight limit, but it's got weight lower to the ground because we had to add more weight to it. But yeah, compared to like a 2-seater or something like that, it's a lot fast. It's pretty much almost as fast as like a stock turbo car. It's pretty much about the same as that the mod car is, just because it's 500 pounds lighter.
Woo-wee. That's a lot, dude. Hey, so what did you like? The X Travel guys just joined. You want to say hi to them?
Yeah. So we've been running X Travel for think the beginning of 2022, I'd like to say.
Yeah, it's been a few months now, man. How do you like it?
Yeah, I think it's awesome right now. We're gonna start up desert next year, and we're gonna try them out there. So
That'll be
um,
that'll be pretty cool, right? Hey, so I want to
yeah,
ask you another question about the track, though. So you had one moto at the beginning of the day and one after lunch or towards the end of the day, or the race day, so to speak. And the track got way rougher. What do you prefer? Do you prefer the motos at the beginning of the day when it's a little smoother, or do you like the rougher part of the track?
I like the beginning of the day just because again I'm not used to Blue Groove. I've never really raced on Blue Groove, so towards the end of the day you can see the track. It gets Blue Grooved, and I'm not as good as that on that. And when the track gets all wet, that gets really slippery.
Yep.
So I like the beginning of the day. In the expert race, it was towards the beginning of the day. The track wasn't that bad, but then in the youth race, it was really rough.
Yeah, it was cool to see you though, because it started like you could see like at the beginning you were like taking the main line that you were used to, and then you're like, oh crap, like it's not sticking. And then you started moving out to the cushion, and like you were literally learning as you went. It was really cool to see that in your driving style. It takes a lot to be able to do that as a driver, so you should be proud of yourself for that.
Yeah. Plus, I could see I had a big gap because Kendall Hawks, he got stuck. He didn't get the best full shot, so he was. I probably had a 10-second gap, first 2 laps. So that also let me run those safer, wider lines.
Yeah, totally. D Green said you did great. Can't wait to get to on the track with you again, and the Saffrets. You guys all had a pretty good like races together.
Yeah, me and the Saffrets, we were battling like the whole time. They were right on me the whole time, and I forgot which one, but one of them made the pass towards the end.
It was cool to see though, because like when you have that, I don't know, that battle, like you could see them, like they started out a little bit behind at the first part of the weekend, and they started getting better and better, and then like at the end they were like towards the top again. It was rad to see that.
Yeah, I didn't get to do race the heat race with them. I was in the heat race with it was me and Cruz Bashard battling it out, where
Yep.
the two Stafford brothers were battling it out. So they were able to get the heat race down. So I didn't know their driving style till the race.
Yeah, but you did good to like navigating with all that. The X Travel guys said awesome show. Thanks, Chase, and the Dirt Life show. Outlaw Series West coming up soon. Yeah, you're right, man. We can't wait to get up to Utah and Cedar City and do all that stuff. Are you going to hit any of those races, Chase?
Oh yeah, we're gonna try to do all of those in the mod car. So yeah, we're gonna try to do that whole series.
And Travis Lee sounds like he's going to do that series too. He said he can't wait to get on the track with you guys out in Outlaw West. Oh, there's Chris Safford right there. Yeah, great job, Chase. Hope you guys come back to Texas. It probably will see him back out of Texas because he did an awesome job, man. If the parents can drive you out again, right?
Yeah, it's the 20-hour drive for us. So if it was a little closer, we'd be out here a lot more often.
Yeah, but it was cool, right? Like, what's the difference, the biggest difference between West Coast and Texas?
I like this a lot better because on the West Coast, all the races I do, the tracks, it's probably 5-mile tracks, and it's a little more of a desert. It's a mix of like desert moto stuff. But the main difference is that out there, all the tracks that I usually do, they're all like one-line tracks. So when I came out here, a lot of people were used to Texplex, where it was a really wide track. But for me, this new track was a really wide track for me.
Yeah, totally. So, well, this track was really wide in general. Like, Texplex wasn't much wider as a distance goes, but yeah, so it was awesome to see you guys battle. Gray Kelly Racing says can't wait to see everyone there. Yeah, we can't either. And then Johnny Cultura asks when the first race for the Outlaw West series is. Brian just said it. I'm sorry, Johnny, I can't remember what he just said, but go to Outlaw Series West on Instagram, or Outlaw. Yeah, I think it's Outlaw Series West, and check it out. Follow that page because all the info's on there. It's going to be in Cedar City, Utah, right?
It's going to be pretty much all West Coast. There's going to be some Taft areas, which is California, then Utah, Nevada, I think, too. So, yeah.
Dude, it's going to be pretty sick.
Utah, yeah.
So overall, like as you guys were driving to Oklahoma, did your parents and yourself have like a debrief on the weekend and understand what you can do better?
You're saying like a recap almost?
Yeah, kind of like when you race and then after the races you talk with your parents and be like, well, like I could have done better here. Maybe I executed this corner a little too fast going in. I could get a better exit going out. Like, what do you talk about? You talk about the car getting better, your driving skills getting better. I want to know a little bit more about your racecraft and race technique after you're done.
Oh yeah, so we didn't actually know this until after the race. We didn't know it was a two-moto format. We thought it was just one race, and we didn't realize that the heat race was actually a part of it. So and because I would have had to won the heat race to compete for first, which I didn't because I rolled. So I couldn't really win overall when I rolled. And yeah, we came out here with a car that wasn't quite set up like these guys. Like I was saying, we have the 29-inch tires, higher off the ground than most people. So, but yeah, we just kind of, you have to finish your race. Wait, to finish first, you must
First
I don't.
finish. Yeah,
Yeah,
you got it right.
finish.
But you're right. Like, it's cool to see that you guys do that stuff, though, because now, like, you're telling me a lot of stuff here that you know that you did wrong. That means that you're already starting to learn how to fix it, right? But you got to be pretty impressed with going out to a completely different portion of the country on a completely different style of racing and being able to still do really well, dude. Like, you got to be proud of yourself. I hope you are.
Oh yeah, we came out here and we were stoked for the first and second. Because we came out here with high expectations, but I mean that's still a good finish. It's not, yeah, it's a good finish.
You always got to have high expectations, though, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, that's the only way to do it.
Yeah, and I feel like having a high expectation will make you go faster. It gives you more confidence.
Yeah, I can definitely agree with that, man. It's super cool to see that you guys were able to come out there and do it so much. Like, I don't know, man. I always give a lot of credit because it's not easy to do that when you're used to racing a certain way. I mean, you're still a young kid, you're learning a lot, but it's a daunting task, man. So you guys did a lot. You achieved a lot this weekend, and you turned some heads. So good job.
Yeah.
Did you see any of the other racing, like this girl Jocelyn Ware that's joining us now? She did a fantastic job in the women's class. Were you able to watch any of that, Chase?
I don't know which women's race were you racing?
She was racing in the stock women's class in an RS1 with it was black with a green cage.
Oh, I was racing my stock car in that at that same time. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, perfect. So you guys were out on track together, huh?
Yeah.
Dude, that's so awesome. All right, Chase. Hey, we're going to talk with Jocelyn for a little bit, but good luck this weekend and great job this past weekend at the Texas Outlaw Series.
All right. Thank you, guys. See ya.
Thanks, man. We'll see you later. So, Jocelyn Ware, what's up, girl? How are you?
Good. How are you?
We're doing fantastic, man. I'm in California, and I'm still sweating bullets out here. But, hey, so you're from Texas, I guess, huh?
Yes, sir.
So,
I am. Pretty hot out here.
And you like racing side-by-sides.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So one thing that I was going to just get out of the way right away was that Holly Mulligan wasn't there, and she said that she wanted to wish all the young racers good luck. She's a main competitor of yours usually on the track, isn't she?
Yeah, her and Peyton Dowdy.
Are you guys all friends?
I mean, I would say so.
It's pretty cool to have such a big racing family, right?
Yeah, definitely.
I didn't hear you. What did you say?
Yes, sir, definitely. It's really nice having a big racing family.
It really is, right? You get to barbecue, hang out, play together. So D Green says, Jossie, is that what everybody calls you? Your nickname's Jossie?
Say that again?
Matt Martelli, what's up, man? Jocelyn, we're having a little bit of a hard time. Are you on Wi-Fi or are you on your cell phone? Maybe just switch to whatever the other one is. Get off Wi-Fi and then get on your cell phone, maybe. The connection seems like it's a little bit bad.
Okay, hold on just a second.
Is that
We
better?
can hear you guys now. Sounds decent. Yeah, it seems like it's a little bit better.
You can.
So Jocelyn, did you just get a new car? Like, what car have you been racing?
Yes, sir. I got a Polaris 1000 RS1.
Yeah, that thing's pretty cool, right? It's still having a really hard time connecting. If you guys are on Wi-Fi,
Yeah.
turn off the Wi-Fi.
I don't know if I can.
We'll give you guys a sec to do that. But yeah, so Jocelyn was driving in the stock women's class. There was quite a few drivers out there too. It was pretty cool to see, and it's always neat to see the younger drivers, especially the women, get out there and just tear up the track. Man, they were out on course with a lot of the guys as well, so it was neat to be able to see. I don't know. There's a lot difference in driving styles and the way that you can see people do their, I don't know, turns and jumps and stuff like that. So always really cool, and I don't know, it's interesting for me to see the way that the women drive different, and usually they get better starts than the guys too. They have better, quicker reaction times, so that's neat to see as well. And her choice was Polaris RS1. So looks like it's still not working that good. You want to log off and then turn off Wi-Fi and then log back on, Jocelyn? We'll let her kind of get things worked out. Braden Baker, what's up? Matt Martelli, Nestor, it sounds like you joined. Really appreciate you guys joining. We're going to talk with Jocelyn a little bit more if she can get the Wi-Fi figured out. Big Green, she was super smooth through the corners and getting back on the gas. Yeah, I agree too. Like, that's what I was saying. It's way different. Like, everybody's style is different, right? Like, I don't know. It's super cool for me to see. Let's see if we can get Jocelyn back on here real quick. Sometimes the Wi-Fi just doesn't cut it, man. So hopefully this will help her. But thanks to the guys at IMG Motorsports. While we're waiting for her, Jocelyn, there you are.
Yeah.
That's way better. Now I can hear you. So D Green was actually saying she was super smooth through the corners and getting back on the gas. I can definitely agree with that. How did you feel out there on course?
I felt really good. It was really fun. I liked the corners, to be honest. So I felt really good about all the corners.
And it's probably like kind of crazy, right? Because you're used to racing at different tracks, and all of a sudden you get thrown on this new track. It's probably like, oh man, what the heck am I going to do? But then you start getting used to it, or what?
Yeah, we have a place out here on Whitney, and it's pretty similar to this. Pretty similar dirt.
I don't know. Whitney's quite a bit softer.
Yeah, it's definitely softer, but it's semi-similar.
But you can at least understand like the cushion and the different turns and stuff, I guess, right?
Yes, sir.
So what's the move then when you come to a new track? We asked all the other drivers, like, do you have different tires that you're going to use? Do you have different setup that you're going to use? Like, how do you go into it?
I don't really know.
Does Dad help a lot?
Yeah.
Oh, right on. So you just look at Dad and say, Dad, I'm not really sure. And he says, well, I'll watch you out there in the first practice and then we'll talk about it.
Yeah, pretty much.
What do you do when you get back to the truck then? Do you tell him like, well, it was slipping in the corner, or like it was jumping and the nose was down? Like, how do you guys work it out together?
I mean, I have Tom and Rhett, Tom St. Peter.
Mm-hmm.
They watch my practice most of the time, and they tell me what to do also.
Do they talk to you when you're in your helmet like a spotter?
Sometimes. Like during races, sometimes I'll have Rhett in my ear, but most of the time I have my dad in my ear.
Oh, that's pretty cool. So at least you have a little bit of guidance while you're out there, right?
Yes, sir.
Man, that makes a big difference. How long have you been racing?
Is it 3? This is my 3rd year.
Dang, already 3 years? How old are you?
14.
Dude, look at you. Starting at 11 years old. That's pretty awesome. What car did you start with?
A 170. This
Really?
is my first season in the RS1.
Dude, yeah. How is that big of an upgrade?
It's pretty powerful and cool. In the 170, you could barely move, but and then you barely touch the throttle in the RS1, and you're just going.
Yeah, it's rad, right? And plus you have 4-wheel drive.
Yeah,
Dude, 4-wheel drive, I
it's way
feel like
more
is like,
helpful.
compared to the 170 with just 2-wheel drive, I feel like 4-wheel drive would feel like cheating for you. You're like, just point and shoot wherever you want to go.
Yes, sir. That's pretty much it.
So how did it feel winning?
It felt really good. I definitely wish Dowdy could have also been in the first race because it was a fun battle we had on the second day.
Yeah,
So,
that's
but it
true.
was pretty fun.
Do you know what happened to her? I didn't hear what happened.
I think it was some kind of volleyball tryouts or something like that.
Oh, okay. So it wasn't anything with the car. She was actually. Oh, you know what? I think I did hear that.
Yeah, she was at practice the first day.
Yeah,
So.
D Green said, "Yeah, you're killing it for your first season. How do you feel it's going since you upgraded to the new car?"
I feel like it's going pretty well. I feel like the 170 definitely helps with corners and stuff.
Yeah,
But
you're right because it's like driving with two-wheel drive car or rear-wheel drive car really gives you the opportunity to be able to understand how to maneuver a car. So when you get into something with 4-wheel drive, you're like, "Whoa, now I can really haul butt through corners."
yes, sir, that's exactly right.
What was your favorite part of the track?
I don't know. It's just pretty cool. Which I do want to thank Brian and his crew for building it and everything, getting it all ready.
They did a really good job, yeah. And I was talking to the guys like, because I thought the same thing. Like there was so many portions of the track that I would say was my favorite too. But I think just by a little bit of an edge was after that tabletop, you hit that like big bank corner, and then that next left-hander. I think that's probably what my favorite part would be.
That part was definitely one of my favorites. I really liked the tabletop, but I really liked the straightaways going into the corners. Those were pretty fun.
Yeah, totally. So somebody told me that was your first time clearing a big tabletop.
Yeah, it was.
How was that?
It was way more smoother.
Were you scared?
Definitely a little bit scared, but once I landed it, I realized I shouldn't be scared at all.
So I kind of went through the same thing. Like when I first started racing dirt bikes, there's these things called whoop-de-doos. They're like these big bumps, and you're supposed to just like bounce over the top of them. And like I was all slow, and I was just like, and I would hit like bottom out suspension on every single one of them. And I did this for probably like 2 or 3 years, right? Like because I was too scared. And then all of a sudden one day I made a mistake, and I had to go like straight through over them. And I was like, oh my God, for 3 years I haven't been doing this. Is that the same thing how you felt? You're like, dude, I should have did it earlier.
Yeah, exactly. Because it was the last lap of the last race on Sunday that I hit the tabletop. And I was like, I should have started this at the beginning.
Yep. So now you're going to go out there first lap next time and just like perfectly smooth it.
I'm going to try.
That's so cool. And yeah, and first season in a big car is pretty impressive. Like, I don't know, man. It always impresses me that you youngsters can get in the car and adapt so quickly. Does it feel like that for you, or does it feel like it's like slow to adapt?
I feel like I adapt pretty quickly. I definitely have a lot more to learn, like a lot more jumping and how to take the corners, which I will learn by watching the pros and listening to Rhett and AJ and Tom on everything. So definitely have a lot more to improve, though.
I feel like you're a sponge then. You're just taking in all the info.
I mean, I'm trying to be.
Yeah.
That's what I tell myself every time.
That's the way I feel like, in my personal opinion, everybody should operate in life. Be a good listener, and you'll be a much better person in the long run because you can absorb all the information from all the other people that have better information than you do. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir. I do.
D Green also commented in saying you're a natural driver. That must feel pretty cool. You don't even have your driver's license yet, and he's calling you a natural driver.
Yeah, I mean, it feels pretty cool. I've had a lot of people tell me that, which, I mean, I feel like is a little bit true, but I feel like I'm going to be way better eventually.
Wait, I got a question for you then. Does your family have any Razors or any other cars that are two-seaters?
No.
Oh, I was going to say, because you could take them for drives. I bet you scare the crap out of your mom and dad if you jump that tabletop with them in the passenger seat.
Oh, I wish I had one.
Dude, that would be so fun, right?
Yes, it would.
Do you get to do anything other than racing, like go practice or any side-by-side track? Or maybe even like you play volleyball. I don't know.
I play basketball. I played softball last year, but I've been playing basketball and
What's your favorite, basketball or side-by-side racing?
side-by-side racing, but like by a long shot.
D Green says, I want to make sure I'm off the road when she turns 16. Just playing. Oh, that's funny. So side-by-side racing is a pretty fun sport, right?
Oh yeah, definitely.
And one of the things that I think it does so well is I think it really brings families and friends and everybody together. Like you were just saying, like Peyton Dowdy and, Holly Mulligan, like everybody, you're all friends. Like it's really cool that you can be so competitive on the track and then just be friends and have a good time afterwards. That's got to mean a lot to you.
Yeah, and I have a lot of other friends too out there, like Code and Becker and Tucker and Tyler, and I got a couple other friends out there that I hang out with.
Dude, you kind of got a lot of friends, man.
Yeah.
What do you guys usually cook, like when you barbecue and when you cook out at the track?
I don't know, like this last race we did sausage and boudin and steak.
Dang, dude, I'm coming over to your guys' pits to eat next time.
Yeah, go ahead.
It sounds pretty good. All right, so what was your favorite part of the whole weekend when you're out on the track? Like, I know you won. That was one of your favorite parts, and I know that hanging out with your friends is like one of your favorite parts. But I want to know like the real nitty gritty favorite part being on track, like that gets you excited the most.
To be honest, I feel like it's just learning more about the track and learning more about how to take corners, how to jump farther, and how to win and all that. I feel like that's just one of my favorite parts.
So that right there is like one of the best things that I've heard in the past few weeks. So I'm a huge proponent of just in life in general, of understanding that you can always grow and always be more if you learn, you pay attention, and you have goals that you set for yourself. It sounds like you have a really good personality that's similar to that.
Yes, thank you.
It's pretty cool to see those goals come to fruition, right?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
So what's the goal for the next race?
Definitely send tabletop.
There you go.
Try to get first again. Just try my hardest.
Do you think there's going to be more competition? Like, think there's going to be more competition gunning for you?
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, everybody's going to get better and better every race, so you just got to stay on your toes. Like, Holly Mulligan's going to come in hot, Peyton Dowdy, and I feel like just everybody's going to come in pretty hard this time.
Yeah, I feel like everybody's going to come in, no matter what class you're racing in, right? Do you guys have any things that you're, like, going to try to improve on for the next race?
Yeah, I mean, like...
D Green says, I'm coming for you.
Braking later, definitely on corners.
Oh, that's a good one.
Again, sending that tabletop.
Dude, you're addicted to the tabletop.
I really want to send it next time.
Don't overjump it. Just be nice and smooth on that bad boy.
Yeah, I'll try.
Dude, that's so cool, though. I love hearing it because it means you're just going to keep trying to get better and better and better. Do you have a breakdown of your lap times were?
Yeah, ish.
They continue to get better all weekend.
Yeah, exactly.
Continue.
So that's one thing that I was going to suggest, because I see you really passionate about this, is so when I was a professional side-by-side racer, I'll give you a couple tips. Every single time you go to the track, write down all of your settings for your car, like your clickers on your suspension, the tire pressure, what tires you use, the size of them, and then find your lap times for that and keep those two documents together at the end of the race. Look at them at the end of the race, and then the next race you go to, do the same thing. And then all of a sudden you'll see that those documents matter, because those documents will tell you how much faster you're getting every time you get out on the track. It really, really helps, because at the end of the season, you'll see like, wow, I improved my lap time by 2 or 3 seconds. And you won't even feel it really, because you'll be used to it, but you'll see why you did, and you can take that for the next year.
Yes, sir, I'll really try to do that. That sounds like a great idea.
And then the second thing that I tell all the youngsters is, if you have a goal, it's 90% more likely to happen if you write it down than just think about it. So write down your goal, pin it to your wall in your room or whatever, your desk, and look at it every day.
Okay, I'll try that.
Okay, so Ben Fournier just commented in on your whole tabletop thing. He said, left side, hit it hard on the tabletop.
Okay, I'll try.
There you
Last
go.
time I took the right side and
Is
hit
that
it
where you were
hard.
hitting on the right side?
But yeah.
Dude,
I'll
that's
try
the
the left side
steepest
this
part.
time.
Like, that's going to give you so much more airtime.
Yeah, I'll try the left side though.
I think you're going to do really good next time because you're such a sponge and you're listening to everybody. So, you want to throw a shout out? Obviously, you want to thank your parents, but do you have any other people you want to thank too?
Yes, I want to thank Brian and his crew, obviously. I want to thank God, and I want to thank Tom and AJ and Rhett and Tom, AJ, Rhett, and I want to also thank my sponsors, 90 Power Sports, St. Peter Metalworks, and is it Maxis Tires? Maxis Tires, and just all my family for supporting me, my dad, my mom, and my grandpa.
You definitely had a lot of supporters. People were watching on the live feed, commenting in too. It's super cool to see, man. Like, you have some really good, great people there that are helping you out. Obviously, it's a big racing family, but you know, you mentioned Max's Tires. They're a fantastic company, and I'm sure that they're looking for younger drivers too. So as long as you keep improving, who knows? Maybe some more support will come for you in the future as well.
Hope so.
Keep our fingers crossed, right? All right. So what's the next on the list for you? What are you going to be up to in the next couple months?
Practice.
Yeah. Just practicing all the time.
All right, we got John Lewis from Desert Squadron just commented. And shout out to Jocelyn's parents for raising a humble, well-mannered human. Listening to the interview is refreshing. Hey, you want to know what? I told your parents the same thing. I was really impressed with you out on the track because you did such a great job, but I was more impressed with you off the track. So I think you're doing a fantastic job with your racing program. So don't lose whatever you had. Keep your humbleness and keep going forward. It's awesome to see.
Thank you.
Yep, keep being a sponge, girl, and you will go far. All right, so good luck in everything that you're doing. We really appreciate it. And give a shout out to your Instagram because I heard you just started this Instagram page.
Yeah. What was it? Was it Jossie Ware 441 Racing?
All right, so everybody that sees Jocelyn on here, go log on to her Instagram page, become friends with her and follow her so that you guys can all have fun together. Thank you very much, Jocelyn, and thanks to your parents for allowing you to come on too. We'll see you at the next round, okay?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll see you later. Man, we talked about so much good stuff with so many good drivers today. It's awesome to see that side-by-side racing just keeps growing and growing and growing. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. We also want to thank all of our sponsors, KMC, UTV tires and wheels, wheels, Maxis tires, Motul, as you can see, the IMG guys were using them. Thanks to the guys at IMG for letting us use the shop, and all of our other sponsors, man. We're going to get going right now. Thanks, Chris Saffrit. We really appreciate everything that you guys do as well and showing up to the track. So we'll see you guys later. Good night.